All right, so good afternoon and welcome to Wednesday Workshops with Whitney. I will be your host, Whitney. So on today's episode of Wednesday Workshops with Whitney, we'll be discussing tips to help you stop attracting drama to your life. We have all experienced drama in our lives at some point in time. However, living a drama-filled life is a choice. I will educate viewers on actions that attract drama and tips to help you rid yourself of a drama-filled life. So thank you for coming. If you'd like to share who you are, you can put it in the chat box or text message my work phone. And I will get started shortly. I got that. All right. Well, I will get started. Okay, so I found a couple different articles that talk about tips of how to minimize drama in your life. So we will be looking at those shortly. But first, we want to start with our icebreaker. So as always, I'm going to ask us an icebreaker question. And then if you'd like to share it, that would be great. Okay, I like this one that I did before. All right, so if you had a shirt that you had to wear for a year, what word or symbol would you want on your shirt that you had to wear every day for a year? So I'll ask the question again. If you had to wear the same shirt every day for a year, what word would you want on the shirt or symbol that people would see you wearing every day? And why? All right, so the question is, if you had to wear the same shirt every day for a year, what symbol or word or phrase would you like on it? I'll share. I think I would do a rainbow smiley face because I like rainbows. They make me happy, and I feel like when people see someone smiling, they're more inclined to start smiling themselves. So kind of a positivity type thing. All right, and if no one wants to share, that's fine. We'll move on to an article I'm going to read through with some tips on how to minimize drama in your life. And then we are going to finish with a progressive muscle relaxation script. Steve said my Holston Human Capital Development shirt. Oh, I didn't even think about that. That's a great idea. I love it. And I think they make pretty great shirts, actually. So thanks for sharing. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to write it in the chat box or comment, and we will talk about them. So I just want you to think about, while you're listening, if any of these tips are maybe something that you would like to use, or that maybe any ideas that you might also have on how to decrease drama. So I took it from a couple articles. This was the main article called 7 Crucial Steps to Minimize Drama in Your Life. I found it on tinybuddha.com, and it's by Lori Deschenay. All right, so here we go. Well into my 20s, all of my friendships with women looked a lot like junior high, and I'm assuming that means pretty drama-filled. One day, we'd be codependent and attached at the hip, sending incessant play-by-play emails throughout the workday like one too many notes in class. The next day, we'd be dragging each other by the hair into a heap of combined emotional issues, complete with nasty suspicions, unfounded accusations, and dramatic reconciliation that would inevitably be short-lived. That sounds like a lot. Shortly after one toxic friendship ended, I found a new one. Things weren't much different with the men I dated. For a long time, I mourned all the damaging relationships I'd been in, as if I was some kind of victim who always got the short end of the stick. Then, one day I realized there was a reason I always found myself in dramatic relationships. I was attracted to drama like a moth to a flame. Chaos was the status quo for the majority of my life, and when it wasn't there, I panicked. I didn't feel comfortable unless I was fighting someone, or at the very least, fighting myself. The things I said and did contradicted because it was easier to blame the world and stay the same than it was, or than it would be to really see myself and make a change. I want to say that again. The things I said and did contradicted because it was easier to blame the world and stay the same than it would be to really see myself and make a change. So sometimes in our lives, we stay in unhealthy relationships, or we don't grow as people because it's more comfortable staying the same or being in the relationship than it may be with a change or perhaps being alone. Because change sometimes is uncomfortable, but it's something that we have to go through in order to keep thriving in our own lives. The things I said, or I just said that. You might not be a recovering drama queen like me, but you've probably encountered your share of relationship dramatics or other people in your life that may make drama a constant cycle. Maybe your close friend has had many catastrophes as there are days of the week. Maybe you're the person everyone calls with their problems. Or maybe you unknowingly turn small issues into major crises and you'd like to stop feeling so overwhelmed. Whatever the case, you probably have at least a little drama in your life that you'd like to minimize. So, here are some steps of how we can decrease the drama in our lives. Recognize when you might be creating drama. If there's drama in multiple areas of your life, be honest with yourself. You're the constant within those different areas of your life. Are you creating it? We don't do anything repeatedly unless there's something in it for us, so what's the payoff? Are you looking for attention or excitement? Did you grow up with drama and you just plain feel best when there's some around you? Now aim to find alternative solutions. If you're looking for attention, can you get it more directly? If you're bored, what new adventure can you create in your life? And one of the biggest things in the cycle of change, I feel, is awareness of the issue. So if you figure out that perhaps you're the constant in the cycle of drama, realizing and accepting that you might have some part in it is one of the big steps towards making a change. Because you have to convince yourself, because we all have parts that like to trick us into thinking, that maybe we are the victim all the time, even though we're not. So it's important to be aware. Next, change your perspective. A lot of the drama takes place in our own heads, just like I was saying. And it's usually because we're too deeply immersed in a difficult situation to recognize it isn't as dire as it seems. If you feel yourself getting overwhelmed by a situation, step back and realize this feeling isn't permanent. Nothing is. Then focus on action steps, on the things you can control. What can you do today to proactively create a solution? I think that's good because anxiety is fear of the future, whether it's, a minute ahead or a year ahead. And sometimes I find myself when I get overwhelmed, it's like almost like a tornado in my head. So it's good to be able to step back and say, okay, maybe you have 10 things to do. Maybe you could do 2 things today and you'd already start feeling less overwhelmed. So I think it's great to break things down into smaller steps. Don't feed into other people's drama. That's a great one. If someone repeatedly comes to you with catastrophes, give yourself a window of time when you'll listen, and then take care of your needs by walking away. Also, resist the urge to jump into a pity party. Oftentimes, people calm themselves down when other people don't validate their complaints. Lastly, focus on your breath. Your calming energy may even help them let go. So, with that, I hear what they're saying is it's okay to listen to someone who might be complaining, but you don't necessarily have to tell them that they're right about what they're complaining about. So by not saying, oh, you're right, I'm so sorry, but just kind of listening, they might come to the realization that they're just complaining and it's really not about anything or whatnot. Reconsider unhealthy relationships. Take an inventory of which people in your life leave you feeling stressed and unhappy more often than not. If you don't want to completely remove a toxic relationship, minimize the time you spend together. If you don't want to change how often you see each other, recognize drama triggers. When the conversation moves toward her horrible mother, steer it somewhere else. So, what I'm finding in this a lot is that we need to set healthy boundaries with ourselves and with other people. And sometimes there are people that we might not want to let go of in our lives, or maybe family members. So actually one thing that I've done with people close to me that maybe there were certain topics that would trigger us is we'd come up with a word like, something that would make you kind of like laugh or feel happy, or something that would be unnoticeable if you were out in public. So let's say it was like pineapple. So we'd be like maybe out doing stuff, and let's say she said something that I felt like might trigger me into wanting to talk back to her or get defensive. I'd just say, hey, Angela, let's say, pineapple. And she'd immediately drop what she was talking about, and we'd just move on with another subject. So I feel like the whole, like the safe word or the code word can be super helpful. Stop gossip. I'm no gossip, but I heard Sandy tell John she overheard Bill and Katie talking about how Frank is. Gossip is a two-way street. It's all well and good to tell everyone about how someone else gossips, but that makes you a gossip as well. The listener is a gossip too. You don't get to project your downfalls on others to absolve yourself from responsibility. Stop gossip. I think that this one is so important, and it's very important for at work. So there's always going to be people that you work with that gossip about everyone else. So the best thing to do is to never repeat what they have to say, and also never tell them anything that personal about yourself that they might use against you. So I think the best thing to do is to set the boundaries of, okay, I'm going to work, but I'm not going to tell work about how, I got in a fight with my husband, or, something, whatever it is. It doesn't matter what it is. Don't bring it to work unless it's someone that you're very close with. But work can be a super gossip highway, I'll even say. And I can tell you out of personal experience that the jobs that I've enjoyed and stayed longest at were where I had boundaries and I wasn't gossiping, because people can suck you into the gossip tornado and you won't even realize it. So, all right. Be clear and straight with other people. A lot of drama comes from poor communication and confusion. Eliminate it by finding the courage to say exactly what you mean. It may be harder in the moment, but it can save a lot of heartache in the long run. On the flip side, let people know that they can be honest with you. If someone thinks they need to walk on eggshells around you, they'll likely hold things in, but they will come out eventually, if not in words, in resentful actions. So, also, if someone's saying something to you and you don't understand what they mean, it's okay to ask them to clarify what they're saying. Also, if you're potentially getting into it over text messages, I would call the person or try to talk to them in person, because the way we interpret text messages, we never know the tone or what the person's doing when they're texting it to you, because they could just be I don't even know an example, but it could be very harmless and you're on edge thinking that they're freaking out at you. So I think the miscommunication part is important. Know your limits. People have a tendency to overcommit themselves. When you have too many commitments, you can't focus on everything, or you can't focus everything you should on all of them, because there's too many things to do. Things fall to the wayside and you become a flake no matter how hard you try. If you keep falling short of people's expectations, they'll all end up against you and you'll find yourself surrounded by drama. So, with know your limits, it's okay to say no. You don't have to say yes to everyone asking you to do everything if you feel like it won't give you enough time to complete other tasks that you may need to complete as well. Be compassionate. A lot of so-called drama in life is really due to the way you're reacting. People have problems and sometimes they need to vent. Everyone vents and you can be compassionate to all of them. It's possible to listen to people's problems as a courtesy. You don't have to truly listen if you don't want to, but at the very least, give the impression that you are. It's a temporary situation, and if it's that uncomfortable to you, you can avoid it the next time. So be a good listener, be compassionate. Sometimes people need to vent about their issues. And lastly, learn from drama. Sometimes it seems like drama happens to us, and we're powerless to remove ourselves from the cause. Another perspective is that every time we find ourselves immersed in something that seems overwhelming, we have an opportunity to learn how to deal with challenges better. Life will always involve many fires that we feel desperate to put out. If we can learn not to fan them, then they may actually be able to light our way. So, did you find any of these tips helpful that you might want to use, or maybe tell someone else they could use? I'll read them out. Recognize when you might be creating drama. Change your perspective. Don't feed into other people's drama. Reconsider unhealthy relationships. Stop gossip. Be clear and straight with people. Know your limits. Be compassionate and learn from drama. I like a lot of them. I think the recognizing you might be creating the drama is a great one, because I know I've had points in my life that a lot of drama was going on, or it seemed like all my friends, all the people I was friends with or dating were just terrible for me, and I felt very much like the victim. But when I can look back and the types of steps I had to change in order to change my life, a lot of it was because I was surrounding myself with maybe people that had too big of issues for me to handle on my own in a friendship sort of way. I think, avoiding gossip is really important, and setting boundaries with other people is also important. And that's my opinion. All right. So next we'll move into our progressive muscle relaxation script. If you ever have any topics you'd like me to present on as well, feel free to share. So if you're sitting, you want to sit up straight, have your feet flat on the ground, and you can have your hands on your lap or maybe to your side. And if you're comfortable, you can close your eyes, but you don't have to. Oh, this gives us a little background. Progressive muscle relaxation is an exercise that reduces stress and anxiety in your body by having you slowly tense and then relax each muscle. This exercise can provide an immediate feeling of relaxation, but it's best to practice frequently. With experience, you will become more aware of when you are experiencing tension and will have the skills to help you relax. During this exercise, each muscle should be tensed, but not to the point of strain or that it hurts you. If you have any injuries or pain, you can skip the affected areas. Pay special attention to the feeling of releasing the tension in each muscle and resulting feeling of relaxation. Let's begin. Sit back or lie down in a comfortable position. Shut your eyes if you're comfortable doing so. Begin by taking a deep breath and noticing the feeling of air filling your lungs. Hold your breath for a few seconds. Release the breath slowly and let the tension leave your body. Take another deep breath and hold it in. Again, slowly release the air. Even slower now, take another breath. Fill your lungs and hold the air. Slowly release the breath and imagine the feeling of tension leaving your body. Now, move your attention to your feet. Begin to tense your feet by curling your toes and the arch of your foot. Hold on to the tension and notice what it feels like. Release the tension in your foot. Notice the new feeling of relaxation. Next, begin to focus on your lower leg. Tense the muscles in your calves. Hold them tightly and pay attention to the feeling of tension. Release the tension from your lower legs. Again, notice the feeling of relaxation. Remember to continue taking deep breaths. Next, tense the muscles of your upper leg and pelvis. You could do this by tightly squeezing your thighs together. Make sure you're feeling tenseness without going to the point of strain or hurting it. and release. Feel the tension leave your muscles. Begin to tense your stomach and your chest. You can do this by sucking your stomach in. Squeeze harder and hold the tension a little bit longer. Release the tension. Allow your body to go limp. Let yourself notice this feeling of relaxation. Continue taking deep breaths. Breathe in slowly, noticing the air fill your lungs and hold it. Release the air slowly, feeling it leave your lungs. Next, tense the muscles by bringing your shoulders together behind you. Hold them tightly. Tense them as hard as you can without straining and keep holding. Release the tension from your back. Feel the tension slowly leaving your body and the new feeling of relaxation. Notice how different your body feels when you allow it to relax. Tense your arms all the way from your hands to your shoulders. Make a fist and squeeze all the way up your arm. Hold it. Release the tension from your arms and shoulders. Notice the feeling of relaxation in your fingers, hands, arms, and shoulders. Notice how your arms feel limp and at ease. Move up to your neck and your head. Tense your face and your neck by distorting the muscles around your eyes and mouth. Release the tension. Again, notice the new feeling of relaxation. Finally, tense your entire body. Tense your feet, legs, stomach, chest, arms, head, and neck. Tense harder without straining. Hold the tension. Now release. Allow your whole body to go limp. Pay attention to the feeling of relaxation and how different it is from the feeling of tension. Begin to wake your body up by slowly moving your muscles. Adjust your arms and legs. Stretch your muscles and open your eyes when you're ready. I personally really like the progressive muscle relaxation because by tensing up the different areas of your body, you really can appreciate when you release them. So yeah. Oh, thank you for the like. And thank you all for coming. I'm so glad that you were here, and I hope that you all have a wonderful day. All right. Bye-bye.